I wanted to start this video by sharing a bit of my own experience with portfolios because for a long time I was really obsessed with constantly improving mine. I truly believed that if I could just make maybe 10 really strong images, that would somehow mean I'd find success. But over the past few years, that idea has kind of been turned on its head for me, and I've slowly found a different way of thinking about portfolios. One that's made me not only more creative, but also more excited to learn and improve in general. Last year, I set myself a goal to make my portfolio good enough to start submitting to agencies, so I put all my energy into it. I took courses, I joined the mentorship, I drew all the things that I found challenging, and I finally went to the Bologna Children's Book Fair, where I stood in a lot of lines and waited for portfolio reviews. And even though all of that effort definitely helped my art, I ended up feeling pretty confused by the end of it, because almost every single person gave me a very different opinion about my portfolio. I was told I shouldn't do digital art because the industry was favoring traditional work right now, and then I was told that my digital art was great and very easy to pitch. At the fair, my characters were called scary and off-putting, and in my courses, they were called lively and vibrant. And I think all of this is to show that if you ask 3 different people, you'll probably get 3 different opinions about the same piece of art. And that can be incredibly confusing when you're trying to figure out what direction you want to take your work in. What I've slowly realized since then is that the portfolio isn't just about showing the best character design or the best landscape or just a collection of pretty images you think might get you work. It's much more about being intentional, about researching the kind of work you actually want to do, the publisher you dream of working with, and the kind of stories you want to tell. And once I started shifting my focus from what looks impressive on its own to what kind of work do I actually want to be making more of, something really changed. My portfolio started to feel more like a direction and not just a display, and I started to feel more proud of it and more confident about where I'm heading. So in this video, I wanted to share that mindset and how I've been thinking about curating my portfolio in a way that's not just strategic, but also more enjoyable and more honest to the kind of work I want to do in the future. A lot of this advice is very general, so just to give some practical advice, if you are struggling to curate your portfolio and you don't even know where to start, a good place to start is always to cover the basics of what people look for. And since you're working in a children's book industry, it's really important to have designs of kids. Kids love to see themselves in books, so it's important that you include some illustrations where there's interactions between young characters. It's also always nice to show different settings, and if you can draw the same character in multiple scenes and keep the character looking the same between all of the different illustrations. And lastly, it's always nice to show different color palettes and different times of the day, different seasons. Those are some basic things that you can start off with. But now back to the more general advice and the mindset shift that could help you fine-tune these basic principles and make your portfolio exactly the way you want it to be, and also a reflection of yourself. portfolio isn't just a collection of nice drawings, it's more like a quiet conversation between you and the people you want to work with. So it's important for it to represent the type of books or in general illustration that you would love to work on in the future. For example, I love picture books with a lot of details and story in the illustrations, so I try to focus my portfolio a lot to emphasize that and find clients that match that description. With that said, I think you should definitely include your interests, your hobbies, and the things you would like to work more on. So for example, if you like nature, that should be represented in your portfolio so people know the types of things you stand for. If you like making characters, character design should be a main focus, and so on. Because in a way, your portfolio shapes your future. You usually get hired for what you show, so if you fill it with work you're tired of making, you might end up doing more of that. I guess what I really hope you take away from this is that your portfolio doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be everything at once. It can just be a reflection of the direction you want to grow in. If you're in the middle of building or reworking yours, I hope this way of thinking about it makes the process feel a little lighter, less about trying to impress everyone and more about slowly shaping the kind of work you actually want to be making, something that can change with you, and that's a good thing. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. You're allowed to learn, to adjust, and to move toward your own version of what you want your work to become. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this kind of advice and would love to get more of it, I also have a newsletter that I do bi-weekly. It's every other Monday in your inbox, and if it's something that you might be interested, it's the top link in the description below. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.